Hello, welcome to NOLA Stamping. I'm Barb Baldwin, and today we're going to be making a different kind of card. You may have heard about everything that happened over the New Year's holiday in New Orleans, and I live just outside of New Orleans, so that really kind of hit close to home for me. I'm going to be making a card, a card that hopefully inspires and helps people go forward from anything that they're going through. So this month we're going to be looking at the timeless plaid paper. And I think it's really great because it'll work as a perfect sort of subtle background for like just a ton of different kinds of cards. So while this card is really New Orleans based, you'll be able to use this same pattern for just a ton of different kinds of cards. Okay, so for the card base, we're going to use Highland Heather, which is like a purple color. And since writing doesn't show up great on it, we're going to make an interior card sentiment panel that's 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then we'll need another piece of white that's 3 by 3. But I'm going to use some of the stylish dyes to cut that out a little bit later. But if you don't have that die set, I just was going to show you, you can cut something similar on your paper trimmer. So just go in 1/4 inch on 3 sides and then cut like 3/4 inch from the bottom on that bottom side, and it'll make sort of like a Polaroid frame, which is the kind of like sort of feeling that we're going for. Okay, so then we're going to use 2 of the patterns from the back sides of 2 different plaids. So because in New Orleans, the colors are always green, purple, and gold. Those are Mardi Gras colors, but you see them around the city all the time. So I'm going to use the back side of one of the patterns because it really looks goldish. And so we're going to cut a piece that's 2 inches by 5 inches. And then we're going to use this other piece that's green, that's got sort of that same green check look to it. And we're going to cut a piece that's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And honestly, if you want to go down 1/8 inch from there, like take another 1/8 inch off, and it's really hard for me to do that math, but if you have a thicker border around the edge of the card, then you'll be able to see that just a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to grab that Polaroid piece, and we want a spare piece of the Highland Heather that's just under that 3 by 3 size, so about 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And that'll go inside that Polaroid frame. And then we need another piece of Highland Heather to cut just a little scrap out. I'm using the heart die cut that I have left over. I think it's an old Close to My Heart die, and I just always liked that heart shape. And then for the Polaroid, I'm using the squares from the stylish dies from Stampin' Up. And I'm just cutting a bigger one and then cutting a hole in the center of it so it feels a little bit like a Polaroid. Okay, on to stamping. So on that 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 Highland Heather, we're going to stamp a sentiment from the Everyday Greetings stamp set, which I just was resonating with me. It's Where There's Heartache, Let There Be Healing, which is a really nice sentiment. And then on the interior of the card panel, I'm just going to stamp Thinking of You in that gorgeous grape, just to tie in the purple from that front cover. I did use black to do the main sentiment, but thinking about it now, could have totally used that gorgeous grape as well. So I'm going to stamp off the side of the paper. I have an old fleur-de-lis sort of stamp set, and it's retired by many, many, many years. It's something that I kept from close to my heart. It's one of my favorite stamps. And it's got like a larger and a smaller fleur-de-lis, but this would also work for like any kind of like anything where you're gonna split it in half, like if there was a heart shape, or that would work really great. Or if you have anything that has sort of like a decorative design, like this would also be a great technique to do to show that off. So what you're going to do is you're just going to stamp halfways up on the edge of the side of the card, and you're just using a darker color. So I'm using like that garden green on the green parts, and then that way you can still kind of see the checks and the paper background through the stamping, but it also it like sort of pulls together everything, and since it's on the side of the card, like it sort of pulls in that feeling, but without there being too much busyness, because the checks and stuff are already kind of busy on that card background anyways. Okay, so we're going to do some of the assembly. So for that 2" by 5" piece, I'm just going to dovetail the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is I've got some Spectrum Noir metallic markers. And this is something that you can do with any color. I'm using gold just to pull in that green, gold, and purple for the card. But you can use one of your like Stampin' Right alcohol markers, and you could use a black or a silver pen. Like it doesn't have to be the metallic pen. I think that the metallic pen looks fantastic on this, but it's a way to create sort of like a border in between the different plaids, since there's so many patterns going on. Like it's just a way to sort of like delineate between the two different things, and then pull in like a design element all the way into all parts of the card. So I'm just going to use gold, and just I used a colored pencil like really lightly to mark where the edge of the frame is, and I just want to go in a little bit and make it look just a little hand-drawn where the gold pieces are on that light purple. And then on the edge of the card, on the edge of the interior sentiment, just repeating that same color will really tie everything together. It really makes everything just pull together. So if you're doing a card where like you're using a white base and then you use like a green accent on it, like this would work great, because you could use like a green alcohol marker to just sort of pull everything together this way. So I'm just showing you, I went around the edges of the card front, so not the entire card, just the card front. So the four corners of that, the dovetail around the corner of the interior of the Polaroid sort of sentiment spot, and then the card interior. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a second to dry, and then let's go ahead and put everything all together. So I'm just using my tape runner, and I'm going to attach that interior sentiment to the card base. And then I'm going to do the same thing for that card front. You want to give it a little bit of space all the way around. So go ahead and pop that down, making sure that you leave a little bit of that purple and a little bit of the gold around. And then try and find the center for the dovetail flag, and then go from the top so that the top lines up with the very top of the card, and then that gives it a little space at the bottom as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach the interior of the Polaroid. I used tape runner, but I feel like I should have used liquid adhesive, since the gold came up a little bit, but You just have to be careful that you don't touch anything, and like it comes off pretty easily. So there's that. And so then we're going to use dimensionals on all the rest of the elements for the card. I really wanted the sentiment, the about healing, to really pop out more than the everything else. So I'm going to double up on my dimensionals. So I'm going to put 2 of them together. I feel like it might make it harder to run through the mail. Since it'll be like right up against the width that they allow you for the machinable cards once it goes in an envelope. But I think that it's still within the dimensions allowed, so I think it'll run through the card or run through the mail just fine. And then I'm just using 1 up on the heart underneath it, just so then it's just a little bit below the sentiment. And I really like how this card came together. I know it's a lot of pattern, but I feel like that really makes the sentiment really show up more. So the last step, always add a little bit of bling, right? And so I'm using some metallic adhesive-based gems. And I'm putting the odd number on there and trying to keep them in sort of like a triangle sort of pattern. And I want to thank you for making this card along with me. I hope that you're able to make your own or use this in a way to spread some happiness and some good vibes out in the world, since I think that we need more of that. And a card is a good way to share that with other people. So this is a great way to do that. So I hope that you make this card or make it your own. And just don't forget to stay crafty.